Welcome back to the PMdistilled lessons. In this lesson, we will try to understand the three types of project management. We have the we can classify them into basically uh, we have the predictive project management, and then we have the agile or adaptive project management, and we have the hybrid project management. When we say predictive project management, we do an end-to-end planning from the start of the project till the end of the project. We do the planning, and the scope is fixed, and primarily it is used for construction projects where change is very difficult and expensive, and it will have an impact on the schedules as well. So this is predictive project management. Sometimes we call it as traditional project management, and it is also known as waterfall projects, because the stages of the projects goes like a waterfall. We complete here it is the requirements completed, then we get into design, then design completed, we get into procurement. When the procurement completed, we get into construction mode, then we get into testing. So it looks like a waterfall, hence we call it as a waterfall model as well. So predictive project management, they are known as traditional project management, predictive project management, and waterfall project management. Then we have agile or adaptive project management. Sometimes, for example, when we start a new product development, the requirements may not be very clear. To make it simpler, let us say we are creating a website. The customer may give his requirements upfront, but as and when he sees it later, we give a demo of the website, he may have a lot of additional valuable requirements, which will really help to improve the website. So when it comes to new product development, a minimum viable product is defined first, which will have the bare minimum features, and it gets refined in increments through iterations. You try to build a minimum viable product, then we give demos to the customer with the intention of collecting more feedbacks. So the minimum viable product gets incremented through a series of increments or iterations. This is very much useful when we start a project where the scope is not clear. And all the agile models are iterative and incremental. So, as discussed, we start with the minimum viable product, and the project progresses through a series of iterations, a 30-day cycle or a 15-day cycles. At the end of each cycle or each iteration, the product gets built little more, or the product gets incremented further. Very much applicable for projects where the scope is not very clear and technology is very new. And all the AI related projects, the only way out is agile, because predictive will not work there. Because there is a tremendous learning involved for the model and for the developers as well. Then we have hybrid project management. That means within the same project, we try to apply the best practices from predictive and agile. Then it becomes hybrid. For example, if you take a construction project, the engineering part of the construction project, that is a very good candidate for following agile, especially when we are using digital tools like building information modeling, etc., change becomes very easy. Then there is no point in carrying out rigid models like predictive or waterfall. So during within the engineering phase, maybe we can go with agile. And once the engineering phase is completed, the remaining part of the project can be predictive. That means within the same project, we apply predictive and agile. Then it becomes hybrid. To summarize, we discussed three types of project management: predictive, agile, and hybrid. For predictive is also known as traditional project management or waterfall project management, where end-to-end planning is done, scope is very clear, changes are controlled. Whereas in agile, we always start with the minimum viable product, and the product gets incremented iterations after iterations. We always start with the minimum viable product, and ideally used for new product development where scope is not clear and technology is very new or any one of it. Then hybrid, within the same project, we adapt the best practices from predictive and agile, and we use it in the project. Then it becomes hybrid project management. In today's world, the most predominant style is hybrid. Nobody is purely predictive nor purely agile. People use a mix of these two things within the same project. So, if somebody asks me which is the most popular model that is being used these days, it is the hybrid project management. Thank you very much.